So picture this. It's 1967, a high school history class in Palo Alto, California. They're studying Nazi Germany, and they just can't wrap their heads around this one question. Their teacher, a guy named Ron Jones, he realizes that just telling them the answer isn't going to cut it. He has to show them. So what does he do? He decides to launch a full-blown movement right there in his own classroom. The goal was to give these kids a first-hand taste of the allure of fascism. You know, what it actually feels like to be part of something bigger than yourself, even when that something is, well, incredibly dangerous. Okay, so Monday morning rolls around. The students walk into what they think is their normal classroom, but everything has changed. The usually laid-back Mr. Jones, he's suddenly become this strict, no-nonsense authority figure. The experiment had officially begun. He kicks things off with a new slogan, strength through discipline, and along with it, a whole set of simple, almost militaristic rules. You had to sit a certain way, greet him in a certain way. This was all about creating a brand new sense of order and purpose. Oh, and here's the kicker. He offered a guaranteed A for anyone who fully participated. I mean, for a high school kid, that's a pretty powerful incentive, right? Now, Jones honestly thought the whole thing would just kind of fizzle out after one day. But when he walked in on Tuesday, nope. He was met with a classroom of students sitting in perfect, disciplined silence, just waiting for the next step. This is when he introduced strength through community. And to really hammer that home, he created a unique salute, this cupped hand gesture. Now, this is a huge turning point. See, the salute wasn't just for inside the classroom. It was required 24/7. It turned a school project into this pervasive identity that followed them everywhere they went. And the appeal of this new community, this sense of belonging, it was powerful. The movement literally doubled in size, going from 30 to 60 members in just 24 hours. Students from other classes saw what was happening and were practically begging to join. By Wednesday, this thing had taken on a life of its own. Jones later said it felt like he was walking on a slippery rock, trying to control this massive emotional wave that was just getting bigger and bigger by the minute. So he introduced the next phase, strength through action. He started giving them tasks, and the response was just explosive. They designed armbands, they created membership cards, they even hung a massive 20-foot banner in the school library. They became these zealous recruiters for their own cause. By the end of the day, this was way bigger than just one class. The movement had swelled to over 200 students from all over the school, all of them chanting the same slogans, all of them doing the same salute. But on Thursday, this is when the experiment took its darkest turn. That sense of community in action, it started to curdle into something else entirely, something ugly, fear and paranoia. Jones handed out membership cards, but with a twist. He announced that 3 of the cards were marked with a secret red X. Those 3 students, they were now his secret police. Their job was to report anyone who broke the rules or dared to criticize the third wave. The fear wasn't just in the classroom anymore. It was leaking out into the real world. One former student remembered his parents getting deeply worried when they saw his armband, drawing this really chilling parallel to the Nazi SS. And the effect was immediate. It was devastating. Jones's desk was flooded with reports. We're talking about childhood friends, kids who had known each other for years, suddenly informing on one another. They'd be sharing a cigarette in the bathroom, and one would run off to report the others for plotting against the movement, all just to gain a little bit of favor. Trust? It completely vanished. At this point, Jones knew he had lost all control. He overheard a rumor that some members were actually planning to beat up 3 students who had been skeptical of the movement. He realized he had to end it, and he had to do it in a way that these kids would never, ever forget. So he announces this special Friday rally for all third wave members. He promises this huge reveal. He tells them their little movement is actually part of a nationwide program, and a new presidential candidate is going to be unveiled on live TV as their national leader. The stage was set for the grand finale. The auditorium was absolutely packed. You have over 200 students standing in attention, performing their salute, chanting strength through discipline, strength through community, strength through action. They're bursting with pride, totally ready to see their movement go national. At noon, the lights go down and Jones turns on this big TV. The students are just staring at it, waiting for their leader to appear. But the screen shows nothing, just static. A minute goes by, then another. And that perfect discipline starts to crack. You can just feel the confusion. And then this wave of unease just spreading through the room. Finally, Jones steps up to the microphone. As this montage of footage from Nazi Germany plays on the screen behind him, he delivers the final, crushing lesson. He tells them there is no movement. There is no leader. He tells them they have been part of an experiment and that they had willingly, enthusiastically traded their freedom for the comfort of discipline and feeling superior. The students were just stunned. Many of them were in tears. The realization was horrifying. They had so easily slipped into the exact mindset that they had condemned just 5 days earlier. In a way, the experiment was a terrifying success. It was a live demonstration of what the political theorist Hannah Arendt called the banality of evil. It proved that evil acts aren't always committed by monsters. They're often committed by terrifyingly normal people, just like those students, who get swept up in something they can no longer control. And that's really the uncomfortable question the third wave leaves every one of us with. It is so easy to sit here and think, oh, I would have been the hero. I would have resisted. But this experiment suggests that the desire to belong, to feel special, and to follow a strong leader, that's a powerful, powerful force inside all of us. So the real question is, what do you think you would have done?